this. So yesterday we have seen how to connect to CSV files, right? How to load the CSV files or data into Power BI Desktop. And now we will continue with something else called database. We will take a look at the database, how to connect to database, and how we can load the data from database into the Power BI Desktop. Okay, the Microsoft database is formally known as the common data source. I just write it here. It is formerly known as common data source. One second, let me just. CDS, common data source. Okay, previously they used to say common data source. COMMON, common data source. Now it is called as a database. Now you might be asking this, first of all, what is database is all about? It is Microsoft's cloud-based storage option for your company's data. So, once you connect to the database, right, so you can, access the data, but you need to have the credentials. Most of the companies, the enterprises, right, they already have the credentials for their company, okay, for their enterprise. So some again, it depends on the customers. Some customers, they have data stored in database, cloud, and some customers, they have data available in CSV files. Some customers, they have the data in SQL Server. But though majority of the customers I've seen, those use analytic tools like self-service business tools like Tableau or Power BI. They use the data warehouse. Okay, the data warehouse will be there in their SQL Server or Oracle. Okay, SQL Server or Oracle. Majority of the customer, right? I've seen most of their databases were available either in SQL Server database or Oracle database. Okay, and there are some customers, yes, they have data stored in SAP and they using Power BI connector. They connect to SAP and they'll pull the data. Okay, now what we will do is we will take a look at how to connect to database. It is a cloud-based storage option. Okay, so the data, you can store the data in cloud in this database cloud, Microsoft cloud. This one, okay, the database is Microsoft cloud option. I just go to the website and browser. I just say make.powerapps.com, something like that. Okay. Powerplatform.microsoft.com. Not here. This is the one, make.powerapps.com. I typed it. I think I did not type it correctly, the entire URL. So here, okay, this is the user ID. So already I have I signed up with this website. Okay. Look here, I'm able to connect to the Power Apps since I already created the credentials. In your case, you just go ahead and create a sign up with this powerapps.com, make.powerapps.com. Once you sign up, you can log in with the credentials. I think for powerapps.com, it requires official email ID. With official email ID, you can connect it there. All right, so on the left side, you can find the database here. Just beneath this, you can see the tables, okay? And the data flows, a lot of options are available. You just click on the tables. Look here, these tables, I did not create it. These tables were available, already in the data warehouse data warehouse base, okay? And I did not create anything. It is already available. And if you wanted to import the data, right? You can import data from Excel. For example, you have the data available in an Excel file in your laptop. You wanted to, import it here, right? From your desktop to, from your laptop to the cloud. If you want to import it, you can import it. It's kind of a uploading thing, okay? And if you want to create a new table, you can create it. But here, the creating table is slightly different. Anyhow, we are not going to look at how we create table on Power Apps. That is that we are not going to look at that. So now let us take a look at how to view this table. Okay, these tables. So these are the tables already available. Someone else has already created these tables and they loaded the data there. And I'll just click on the account and you can see this, the columns and data, account columns and data. Let's wait for some time. Look here. So these are the data that are available in the account table. Okay, so you can see that the account name and phone number, city, primary contact. And if you select this, right, so there are close to 138 columns are there. 138 plus columns are there. And if you want to view all the columns, select whichever column that you needed. You select each and every column or all the columns, right? And then so that you can see all the data here. Okay, so this is the thing, right, that is available. So now what I do is I just click on this settings icon here. I just click on the settings icon. Here you will find something called session details. Here you need to select this URL, instance URL, okay, and right click on it, copy it. And then go to Power BI desktop, simple, and you will find something called database here. You just click on the database here and it will ask you the username and password. See, you're not signed in. It will ask you the username and password. Once you sign in here with your credentials, here I just say, here, let me just, okay, now I entered my password, but it is going one more round of verification. See, in my mobile phone, I received approved sign in. Okay, I have already installed Microsoft Authenticator. So in your mobile phone, go to Google Play Store, type Microsoft Authenticator and install this app. Okay. And now I'm going to approve the sign in. And in my mobile, I'm just pressing approve. And I'm going to unlock my screen. So, okay, it got signed in now, right? So you are currently signed in. Good. It's able to sign in here. Connect. Look here, I got successfully connected to the database cloud. And in that cloud, so whatever the, okay, or invalid. Okay, my God. Okay, sleep neuron. Okay, good. Now I was able to connect it successfully to this one. And here I just select the account table, and it'll take some time to view the data that are available in account table. So whatever we have seen it here in the cloud, right? The same thing. This is my cloud. The table name is account. The same thing, right? All the tables that are available as part of database, we can see it here. You can also create your own table, like you can also upload your files, okay, here, but it requires licensing and all, okay. Without licensing, it is not allowing you to upload your excel file and all. That is one limitation. And here what I do is I just click on load. It will take some time. Okay, so here you can see two options here. One is import and direct query connectivity mode. By default, the default connectivity mode is import. The default connectivity mode is import. Okay, and if you want, so default connectivity mode import. The other connectivity mode is direct query. I'll explain you what is the difference between these two. At this moment, I'll just go ahead and click on OK button. I'll just hit this OK. It will take some time. So what happens is, in the case of import connectivity mode, it will download all the entire data that were available for in this account table locally into my Power BI desktop. The entire data that belongs to account table will get downloaded and loaded inside my Power BI desktop. But when you use direct connectivity mode, the data will not get downloaded. Instead, only the metadata will get downloaded. I will tell you what is metadata a little later. Let this first finish this one, okay? 10 rows loaded. Okay, so it is yet to load it. Right. So now the data got loaded, right? So 1 second, let me just. So, okay, so now you can see that it is yet to refresh it here. Look here, the account table from the database got imported into my Power BI desktop locally. So you can see when you expand this icon, right, you can see all the columns that belong to account table is available here. And when I go to this data view, you can see the data that are available as part of this account table locally. You can see it here. So it will take some time because from the cloud, it has to, it already downloaded, but still it needs to load it here, right? It will take some time. Okay, so the next one is, yes, the data is available, everything is fine. It got loaded here. We made sure that by going to the data window, the data got loaded here, fine. So next what I do is I just go ahead and click on the pie chart. Okay, I'm going to remove these two visuals at the for the time being. I just resize it. So the moment when I clicked on the pie chart here, which is available just beneath the visualizations pane, this one gets moved to the report canvas view. And right, so this visual got created with the dummy data. So we need to populate the data, right? So the business data. So here in the account table, I just take something. I know very well already about some columns. Number of employees. I just drag and drop it. Yeah, look here. I just drag and drop this column here. So okay, and uncheck this one and I go and type it here, name. So here I just say the line name, account name. Okay, I just simply drag and drop the account name. Okay, account name has a lot of things in it. This is not okay. Anyhow, it's good. Okay. You can see that okay, not many column, not many values. Okay, good. So now we are able to create a visual, the pie chart visual, by downloading or importing the data from database cloud into my local Power BI desktop. Okay, and if you see here, when you select this visual, see the visual got selected already. And on the right side, if you see here the account name, the legend was account name and the number of employees, the values were number of employees. And so you can see it here. Hope you understood how to connect to the Microsoft database cloud and how to import the data from there. It's pretty simple and straightforward. And only thing is you need to have the login credentials. Once you have the login credentials, you can connect it. But what it will ask, right? Initially, in my case, I already specified the URL. But in this case, it will ask you the URL first time. Okay. And it will ask you. That is the reason why I have shown you here in the cloud, right? You need to click on the settings and the first time, once you in the session details, once you select the URL and first time only it will ask you. Okay, first time when you connect to database, it will ask you the URL. You need to specify the URL name there. It will not ask. It will you need to specify. Okay, when you click on the database, instead of it is, see, in my case I already connected it. Since I already connected it, it's something like a cookies, right? So let's say the Gmail, you will, without entering the password every time, the cookies you already stored the password. By default, it will get login, right? Similarly here, it's a kind of a cookie. Since I already specify the username and password, it connects there only. But first time users, you need to enter the thing like this, not here. And there is some thing will be there. When you click on database, it will ask you the URL. Yeah, you need to type that URL, and that's it. Once you click on that, it will ask you the username and password. Once you specify the username and password, you're all set. Okay, it will get connected there. Okay. So okay, the next one is I just show you how to connect to the connect with import connectivity mode. I just, so you can find the database here. Alternatively, you can find it here also. Okay, look here, the database here also it is available. Both of them are same only. Okay. So I just go ahead and import the same table for you to show, right, how it works. To compare the import and direct connectivity mode. For that purpose, I'm going to load this one again. When I load it, it will ask the connectivity mode. You want the import. Look here, they mentioned import allows you to bring a copy of the data into Power BI, whereas direct query will connect live to this data source. It's a live connection. When you click on direct query, it will not import the data locally. I just click on OK. This is the one account. Okay, so it is loading, these two things again. This is import mode. This is a direct connectivity mode. Okay, it got loaded here. So I just go ahead and minimize this one. This is the one we already imported it. I just look here. This is the one got loaded here. So this time we have connected with the direct connectivity mode, the account too, right? Since we have imported this table using direct connectivity mode, the table name appears like this, account too. Okay. Here you can see all the columns. Everything is same. Everything is same, but except the except the fact that when you go to the data view and click on This one which you have used the direct connectivity mode, you will not see the data here because this data belongs to account table was not imported locally into my laptop or into my local Power BI desktop. This table uses direct query and cannot be shown. So on the one hand, it is good from the security point of view, and from the performance point of view, it is really good. For example, if this table has 10 million records, okay, imagine that if you try to import the 10 million records locally into laptop, it will take a lot of time. So if the volume of the data is very high, you can use direct query connectivity mode. But the default connectivity mode is import. But you need to make sure that if the volume of the data is very high for specific tables, those tables you need to use direct connectivity mode. Okay, when I use direct connectivity mode, it loads the table. It is not loading the data, but it loads the table metadata. It's just like a structure. Okay, the table name, column name, that's all. Okay, you can see the table name, column name, but the data is still available there. Okay, for example, if I go to my report view and if I click on the pie chart again, and in this account to table, and if I drag and drop the account name, and if I drag and drop the number of employees, you just drag and drop it here. Same output, there are not much difference because the data are same, the same output, but the moment when I drag and drop the account name and number of employees, the request will be sent to your cloud. From the cloud, it is just, from there it is going and fetching the value and displaying it here on the fly. It is not fetching from your local laptop, whereas in this case it is fetching from your local laptop the data, right? So once the data get imported, whenever you try to refresh it or so, right, the data will get re-imported. In this case, when I click on refresh, what will happen is, look here, when I click on refresh, account table is once again getting downloaded here, and account table, what happens is it is re-importing the metadata only. Okay, I just cancel it here because we don't want the data to be reloaded again. Okay, in the case of import, in the case of data direct connectivity mode, it connects to the source system, Dataverse cloud. From there, it takes the data and then it populates this visual. It is as simple as that. So now you understood the difference between the import mode and direct connectivity mode. In the case of direct connectivity mode, only the metadata, the structure of the table will get imported. The data will not get imported locally. Every time when you refresh this visual, it will go and get the data from there and then it will populate it here. But whereas in this case, when you click on the refresh, in this case also it goes to the cloud and then it import it here. Okay, but the first time it will import it. Second time, what will happen is it will the imported file which is already available in your local system will get loaded into memory. This is very important. So okay, fine. So now you understood how to connect to database. So next, I will show you how to connect to the folder connection. We have a beautiful feature that is available in Power BI, wherein we can, use the folder. You can just specify the folder name, and then you can load the data into your Power BI desktop. So using the folder connector, you can combine more than one file. Okay, and you can load all the files. What are the files that are available in that folder and its subfolders will also get loaded into Power BI desktop in one go. I'll just show you how it is possible. This is a very beautiful feature. I just go to the Explorer here, and here I just show you here. We have something called NC sales, NC daily. I have a folder called NC daily sales. I just enter it. You just see here. So I have a file called march.csv that is available here. In the NC daily sales folder, there is a subfolder that is available here, right? In this, we have a subfolder called APR. If I get into the APR folder, if I go to the APR folder, I can see in the subfolder APR also, I can see another file. Okay, what I do is I just select this folder name, the main folder name, okay, folder link, okay, the folder path, D:NC daily sales, right click on it and copy it, copy it, uh, copy it, and then I just go back to my Power BI desktop and click on the get data icon here. And then you have something called more. You just click on the more. It will take some time. And here, if you click on the file, you'll find the folder and the various file related types are available. We wanted to use the folder connector option. And here I just do Control V. Okay, I just specified the path name and I click on OK here. That's it. Look here, it's very interesting feature. So you can see that in the NC daily sales folder, the main folder, we have march.csv. Not only it picks up the files from the main folder, but also in the subfolder also it picks up that, right? So you can see that apr.csv file got picked up from the subfolder, right? So this is a nice feature. Imagine that you have tens of, or let's say 15 files are there. Okay, 10 or 15, 10 or 15 files are there in that folder. Okay, and also all the 15 folders are not available in the main folder. Let's say some files are available in the main folder, and some files are available under various subfolders. This is a pretty cool feature. All you need to just specify the main folder name. That's it. Okay, when you specify, it will show all the files that are available, not only in this folder, even the subfolders. What are the files that are available in the subfolders also it will display. And here you can see the three options: combine, load, and transform data. Here, when you click on this, you can say combine and transform the data. So which means combine these two data files into a single file and then transform the data and then load the data. So for the time being, I just click on the load. Okay, I just click on the load. Let's see what happens. I just click on OK here. Okay, the NC daily sales, right, got loaded here. So if you go here and if you select this one, and you can see like this, right? So now what you do is you can go to home and then you can see that you can go to the Power Query Editor. And if you click on this folder name, NC daily sales, and you will find the same thing here. And if you scroll towards this direction, you'll find a lot of things here. Okay, what I do is I just select these two things and then right click on it and remove other columns. See, this is a nice feature. Just select the columns, whatever you needed. Rest of the columns, you don't have to go and select it manually. For example, you have 100 columns. Out of the 100 columns, you just want to select two columns. Remaining columns, if you want to delete it, you need to select all the columns, right? So in this case, this feature is available. Click on it. Except these two columns, rest of the columns got removed. Okay, and you will find something like a double arrow. Okay, so combine files. You just click on this. And you can see it here, right? So the data preview window, it shows everything here. Fine. The first file, and yeah, it shows the sample file. Okay, it creates a sample file. That's all. You just click on OK. Look here, we have another feature, skip files with errors. Okay, at this moment, let us not worry about this. I just click on OK. It got loaded. Everything got loaded. Okay, so now I just go towards this end. I just scroll towards this end. So everything is available here. Okay, fine. Okay, everything is available. Now the question is, how do I know both the files got merged successfully? Okay, what we do is, one option is we just click on the transform ribbon and you click on the count rows. 36 records are there. Both files, date of March and April files put together, 36 records are there. Fine. And I just click on the cross here because I don't need this any longer because I've seen only number of records here. I noted down 36. And for the time being, what I do is I just go to the folder here and I just open this march.csv file. Since it has less number of records, we can open it. Okay, if you have millions of records, don't ever, or 100 lakhs together, don't open it. Look here. So in this file, how many number of records are there? 19 records are there. But if you exclude the column header, you will have only 18 records, right? Remember, we have 18 records are there. Similarly, if I go to the april.csv, here also we have 19 records. If you exclude the column header, 18. 18 plus 18, 36 records. With this, we are able to confirm that, or we are able to ensure that both March and April CSV files got loaded successfully here. Okay. And what I do is I just go to the, okay, I'm not going to do any data transformation now. I just simply go and close and apply. Done. Okay. So now the NC daily sales table has 2 months data in it. Okay. Next, you see what I do. I just simply go and click on the matrix visual. Okay, here I just drag and drop category. And we have another column called, instead of sales, I just use quantity here. In total, 144 units we sold, both March and April put together. Got it? So total 144. But you can see the breakdown across categories. Okay, how many units we sold across the category? That breakdown we can see it in furniture 8, and office supplies we sold 78. Fine. So now I just go back to this folder. Look here, I just copy this file, and I just go back to folder. And here already I have apr.csv. Okay, I just put it here. I just paste it here. I just go back to my NC sales folder, NC daily sales. I just double click on it. And look here, what is the total? 144. Please remember it. I just go to the APR folder. And here I just go and delete this file. Okay, that's it. And if I go and refresh it here, let's see what happens to the total here. Okay, I should have disabled this one, the load. So this one will get reduced because we removed one file. Look here, 72. So automatically, whenever you refresh it, right, you can see that whatever the files that are available currently in that folder, it is taking into account of that one only. But it requires refresh. Okay, you need to refresh it. Okay, and if you drag and drop files there, it will go and when you click on refresh here, it will take all the files and then it will display the total. The total quantity will get increased here. Okay, I'll just do it one second. What I do is I just, okay, I already copied it there. I just paste it here. Okay, that's it. Try again. They are no longer located in APR. Okay. Okay, I just go back to that folder. March, April, and yeah, I have something called feb.csv. I just copy this one. Let's try something, different month. NC daily sales. I just copy paste it here. Feb.csv. Okay, good. So I just go and refresh it now. Let's see what happens this time. This time, the total will be more because that file, the Feb file, has a lot of records in it. Look here. Whenever any file get pushed to that folder, and if you refresh it, it automatically goes and picks up all the files. This is just one time job, right? You just went to the transform data, and so we did combine. When we just clicked on the combine icon, that file, the March and April file got combined. That's it. You did it only once, but whenever any file get pushed to this folder, NC daily sales, right? It automatically picks up that when you click on the refresh icon. That's all. You can also schedule it in the Power BI Cloud service. You don't have to manually go and click on it. See, in the real-time scenario, if you take a big big organization, right? Multiple folders will be there. In each folder, hundreds and hundreds of files will be there, and each file will have many many records in it. So so let's say you have 50 folders are there. Each folder, let's say approximately or hypothetically 50 files are there. Okay, all you need to just specify the folder name. That's it. Okay. And for the 50 folders, let's you have imported 50 folders here. You connected to 50 folders. And each folder, let us assume that on a daily basis, on an average, five files will get pushed to those each 50 folders. Okay. Each folders in the, out of the, for the total 50 folders, each folder, approximately five files will get pushed on a daily basis. Okay. And in that case, if you so in that case, to make sure that your Power BI desktop to have the up-to-date data, you don't have to click refresh for each and every folder. You can go and set up, you can schedule it, the refresh on the Power BI Cloud service. That we will take it later. Okay, we'll discuss it later. Okay. Once you schedule it there, automatically the files will get refreshed, or the each folder, whatever the files got included, right, it'll be picked up. Okay, you don't have to manually go and refresh each and every folder. Okay, what are the advantages of this one? So the advantage of this one is, as and when you move any files, new files into that folder, or when you remove any files in the existing folder, right, it automatically picks up the files from the folder, and then it whatever the files that are available at that point in time in that folder, based on which it does the aggregation when you click on the refresh. Let's see, in NC daily sales folder, I have 50 files are there. If you don't have this option, what you have to do? Let's say all the files are .csv files. What you have to do? You need to go to get data and take CSV, select each file one after another, right? You cannot load multiple files in one go. Which in the NC daily sales, as I said, right, 50 files are there. Each file, 50 times you need to load the files. To load all the files, 50 times you need to click on the get data and you load it. It takes a lot of time. But with folder connection, with only one folder connection option, right? So it automatically goes and picks up all the files, not only from the main folder and all the other subfolders, right, which have the files. It goes and picks up it automatically. It combines that. Okay, now the question is, what are the prerequisites for this? To ensure that combining the files work properly, we need to make sure that all the files in the folder and its subfolders have the same file format and structure. What do you mean by same file format? All the files should be CSV file. Okay, you should not have a mix of JSON or CSV file. All the files should be the comma separated value file. And the structure should also be same. What do you mean by structure? For example, let's say in the first file, the CSV file, I have something called category and the quantity, sales. Let's for simplicity's sake, let us assume that only 3 columns are there in each file. But what happened in the first file? The column name starts with category and second column is quantity and sales. Okay, let's see if you want to have some more 49 files, you want to push it here. Make sure that the remaining 49 folders column order should also be same as that of this one. And at the same time, the data type should also be same. For example, in the second file, CSV file, you have something called category and you have sales here and you have quantity here. It will still work, but it will be completely illogical. The sales data will get loaded into quantity column and the quantity data column will get loaded, data will get loaded into sales column. This is illogical. And supposing you have something like you have sales here and you have category here, you have quantity here. So what will happen is the data types are different. The column order is also different. In this case, it will not work. It will fail because sales is a numeric value. When you try to load any numeric value in text data, it will fail. At least this one will work, but the data will not, so end of the day, you have some kind of inconsistent data. You will find, the misleading values in the columns. Okay. But whereas here, it will not work at all. The job will fail. So hence, the prerequisite make sure that all the files in that folder should be in the same file format, and the structure should also be same. If it is category quantity sales in the first file, rest of the file should also follow the same order. And supposing, let's while you load let's say you are loading the data first time, right, in the folder, and you want to exclude some of the files from the folder. By default, the folder connection picks up all the files from the main folder as well as from the subfolders. But you don't want all the files. Some files you want to exclude it. What you can do is you can go to the transform data in the Power Query editor. Instead of using combine and filter the table of the files, right? Instead of combine, you can filter the files. Okay, you can filter the files whichever you don't need it. Before combining it, you can filter it. So that's the way you can do it. Okay. It does simple appending operation. Supposing you have duplicate records, let's say the column orders are same in all the files, but the first 5 records in this file are same as the last 5 records in this file. It's a duplicate, but still it will go and append it. Okay, it will not cause any problem. So it is not taking into account of the duplicate records. It is not going to remove the duplicate records. You need to check it manually. So whether the data got loaded correctly, yes, the data got loaded. Okay, and the not only it meets the prerequisites, but also right make sure that the data got loaded correctly in all the files. For probably you can do some kind of using some visual and just check it out. Okay, the sum total everything is same, everything right. You can do it. So fine. Now you understood the super cool feature, the power folder connector, right, with this one. Okay. So next we will take a look at the SQL Server.